What is up, guys? Hbox here, and I'm making a quick video today because it seems that out of nowhere there is a planned maintenance happening for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Thursday, March 2022, from 00:25 UTC to 2:30 UTC, so in the early morning for that time zone. Now, the important thing to note here is that this is the first update given to this game since the release of Sora. Obviously, it's well known to everyone that Sora was the last DLC character. And with that is probably going to come the last patch or changes to the game before Ultimate can finally be considered complete. Let alone, in fact, if Nintendo is going to put out another deluxe update maybe a couple years into the future, like they have done with Mario Kart 8 and all that. That's a whole different story. But as of right now, in terms of the base game and the full Fighters Pass Volume 1 and Volume 2, this should be one of the last, if not the last, maintenance or update for the game. Big question here is, what could this be? Well, number one most common thing this might be is going to be bug and glitch fixes. Every time you include a new character, there's a chance for that new character to interact strangely with other characters or in certain stages. I'm not too sure how many prevalent Sora glitches there were or if they matter that much, but you compare it to something like Steve, and when Steve came out, there was at least a dozen game-breaking glitches that Nintendo had to patch out, otherwise the competitive integrity and the casual integrity of the game would be ruined. So bug and glitch fixes are probably the most obvious. Just, polishing the game, making it good for everyone, making sure every character perfectly interacts on every stage. Even the fact that when you have a new character, it could be like problems with Hollow Bastion. But from what I've seen, because I check out a lot of clips and so on social with Smash Bros, there doesn't seem to be a huge issue with Sora or the new stage. Another one could be balance changes. That's probably the second most prevalent. Now, just because there's no more characters in the game doesn't mean Nintendo can't stop updating the game and making tweaks here and there to make certain characters not as good. Now, if that's the case, is this going to be the last balance patch? Is someone at Nintendo or Sakurai keeping a close eye on competitive results to see who he should make better or worse? Is he secretly following Spargo's every step to know how much Cloud's limit break should be buffed or reduced? We don't know. That's all happening in the shadows. But the fact of the matter is, it is a fighting game, and when fighting games meta develops, you do need to patch or tweak certain things to make it more balanced and fair for everyone. There's still some pretty glaring issues with the meta of the game. There's three characters, Ganondorf, Little Mac, and Dr. Mario, which I consider by and far worse than the rest of the cast. So if those three got buffs, that would be pretty cool. It would be really, really neat to have, like, the first ever beautifully integrated fighting game. In my opinion, the perfect fighting game would only have three tiers. It would be a high tier, a middle tier, and a low tier, but where everyone's viable. Obviously, it's nearly impossible to create that effect, but I will say, for an 80+ character game, Ultimate and the team behind Ultimate has gotten the closest out of any fighting game I've seen, so props to them. If there was no more balance changes, this still would be pretty much one of the most balanced fighters of all time. Maybe not winning tournaments, but whenever you see even a low tier hero, like a Ganondorf, come out of nowhere and go up against top player, there still is that realistic chance that he could lose to that low tier player. Whereas in Melee and Brawl and other games, Smash 4, that would almost never, ever, ever happen. Ultimate, whole different story. Another very, very likely case is that this could be support for upcoming amiibo. Of course, every new DLC fighter has their corresponding amiibo that needs to be compatible with the game. I heard that the Min Min amiibo is coming out as well. And think about it, there's still every single amiibo that has to be formed, from Kazuya to Sora to Pyramithra. These are all characters that need their amiibo because they need to have the equal treatment to every other character. So I'm sure that even if it is a small, adjustment, it's still important for that. Now let's get into the sort of, less likely territory, but the dream for me. The dream for me is maybe a little bit of love for online maintenance. The online experience. Improvements to online play, maybe some difference in the code that allows us to have better connections with people, maybe a way to tell if someone's connection is absolute dog shit and doesn't force you to play against a PowerPoint slide for 15 minutes in the middle of a tournament mode bracket. That would be great. The dream of rollback is out the window. I've lowered my expectation for that significantly, but it still would be good for someone to go in there, polish up some cobwebs, and say, okay, there's a bit of an update improvement here for online. You know, even give me an extra frame. Give me something here. A little bit less input just to have it there. Maybe throw in some artificial intelligence that predicts your next move. Go Google Stadia on their ass. At least give me something to make it a little faster. In any case, that's a bit of a pipe dream at this point. I very much doubt it'll be that, but it still would be really cool. Then again, I doubted Minecraft Steve would be in any Smash game ever, and well, we saw how that turned out. Now, here's what won't be there. In this universe, while Luigi won't be a surprise DLC character. That won't happen. If it does happen, I'll delete my YouTube channel. So please don't put him in there, as much as I want him. The other pipe dreams for this update could be, of course, number 6, smaller Battlefield. That's right, we've got
Big Battlefield,
Small Battlefield,
and featuring the brand new and improved
Smaller Battlefield.
That's right. It's half the size of Small Battlefield, featuring only one platform and some of the biggest blast zones you've ever seen, just to add that extra pizzazz to the competitive meta. Trust me, if there was a
Smaller Battlefield,
basically mini Smashville, I'm starting there every single game. You do not want to fight me in the trenches, mano a mano, right there in my face. Melee players are known for excelling at that. But give them a big amount of room where you can zone me out and camp me out with a variety of projectiles, bananas and bells and keys and eggs and grenades, fireballs. Yeah. Bit more a problem. Also, number 7,
Big Final Destination.
That's a huge one. It's like Final Destination, but twice the length. There's no walk-offs, but the edge is in the bubble territory where you can't even see yourself, so it's going to add some really good results. I'm sure MKLeo will benefit from that amount of distance using Byleth's incredible running speed. So now we can get off our satirical high horse. I will say another cool dream would be somehow if there was new costumes for characters. I mean, if they added skins of some sort, or even more Mii fighters, it would just be cool to have something new sprinkled on top. At this point, it's very unlikely, but you never know, right? And the reason I say you never know, especially here, is because now they're finally done with development of characters. Now they have the whole roster there, and now they have to sit back and think, what more can we do that's within reason? What more can we do right now that we can put our full team and focus into if we want them to keep working? And if you ask me, I personally don't want Sakurai to keep working for this year. I'd like him to take a very long break. Of course, I'm a big Smash fanboy, but my God, that man has literally made 5 Smash Bros, 6 if you count the DS version. So yeah, take a breather. Go to Cancun, homie. But one other thing that I like too is the modes in Smash Bros. I really like the fact that, you know, you have regular Smash, you have Elite Smash, you have the battle arenas, you have spectate, you have tourney mode. Those are really cool. I think with not too much of a headache, if they wanted to, maybe they could add a new Smash mode. You might think, HBox, it's way too late for that. There's no way they're going to add a brand new thing out of nowhere. The fact that they added a new stage just point blank out of nowhere, like Small Battlefield, means that sometimes they're probably sitting around, an idea pops into their head, and they add it in because they feel, A, this is not too hard to put into the games. It probably took them a day or two to make Small Battlefield even a reality. They just tweaked it up, maybe added a little new texture and called it a stage. They probably used the in-game stage maker for it. And 2, if something's worth trying and they know it's not going to alienate people, why not go for it? Especially when you have now a lot more freedom to do so. I could see it happening, and, you know, that's what I imagine. Anyways, with all that being said, huge thank you to NinStatusBot, the Twitter account, for letting us know about this update and scheduled maintenance. It still was a bit shocking to me to see this, especially given the fact that we've now had Sora for the better part of a few months. The meta in 2022 is being well developed, and a lot of the players now are showing their ultimate potential with the characters of their choices. And not limited to just online. We saw a lot of people pick up new DLC and have amazing results both offline and online. So I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm excited to see what we're going to have here tomorrow. You can expect an update video on this very shortly, as in Thursday, day of. And yeah, let me know what you think is going to be in the comments below. I want to see your predictions. I want to see who in the smart people below in these comments is actually going to predict this perfectly, so I can praise them, show them off for the rest of the world, pin their comment to the top, and say, he is the chosen one. As always, stay hungry. I'll see you next time.